LDMMAC. This is your boy, the Coach. You're live on the Coach Show, the Coach Show Live. Okay, folks. So, got a fan, PGS woman. Okay, she been asking me for quite some time to talk about the whole Bellator PFL debacle. Okay, and you guys know when I use the word debacle, you know I'm going hard. Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. You know, people want to know and understand, why did the PFL purchase Bellator? Why would they do it? I mean, Bellator was already a sinking ship. Okay, you know, why would the PFL acquire that kind of debt? Because to me, Bellator, to me, wasn't an asset. It's debt. Straight debt. Bellator was failing. Okay, we got Scott Coker his second time around. You know, he was in charge of Bellator. He was in charge of Strikeforce. Strikeforce went under. And it's just like the same Scott Coker game plan, you know, does it again. Okay, does it again. Bellator, I think, was around for damn near what? A decade and a half. And they only had 2 profit years. Folks, that ought to tell you. Okay, now I'm going to give you guys a revisionist history. I'm going to give y'all a history on why I told y'all that Bellator wasn't going to be sustainable. I told you this. Okay, and I'm going to do this real quick. Number one, I told you guys that Bellator, they don't promote to the American market. And I know some people at Bellator will probably disagree with that. I don't think they promote it well to the American market. To me, Bellator felt more like they promoted more to a European market. Well, what country is the capital of violence? That's America. You can say it's any other place. Americans, they love to see people blood, guts, and piss on the floor. America has sexualized violence. We love it. Okay, when somebody gets hurt over here in America, we're celebrating. That's what we do over here. Okay? And you don't market to the biggest violent market in the world. To me, I felt like they were marketing more toward the European market. And that's a big fat fail. Okay? Guys, if you wanted to see a Bellator, you know, event in America, guess what? You had to go to the Mohegan Sun. Okay, you know, like the UFC, they spread it around, you know? They spread it around. Or even Invicta, they do it in Kansas City. That's like, you know, in the middle of the state, in the middle of the country. Okay, so, you know, more than likely, you could get to a UFC or an Invicta event before you could, you know, get to the damn Mohegan Sun. Okay, folks, it used to baffle my mind. Like, why in the hell does Bellator do everything with the Mohegan Sun? Why don't Bellator move the venue around in the country so other people can get an experience of what Bellator really is live? Couldn't do it. Okay, they went to Hawaii once. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, out of all the other countries in America that you went to, you go to Hawaii. And, you know, you go there because Ilima-Lei Macfarlane, who was your champion, you go there and you do a show in her hometown. And it's like, she not even that popular. So it's like Bellator just did a lot of dumb ish. And I sat and I started thinking, who the hell is making these decisions? I said, oh, Scott Coker. Of course. Now, Scott, he's done some good things, okay? He's done some good things, but he's just done some very, very dumb things to make Bellator, you know, a debt. Okay, like, you know, like, who the hell is going to go to the Mohegan Sun? Okay, 2, Bellator, you know, there were no advertisements about Bellator. Not many. There were a few, but damn it, you had to figure out and go to Spike TV. Remember that? Remember they was on Spike TV? Okay, who the hell is watching Spike TV like that? Nobody. Nobody's really watching Spike TV like that. Okay, then, you know, okay, Bellator got a little smarter. Then it went to DAZN. Okay, which it wasn't much better. Have y'all seen that damn DAZN app? That damn DAZN app, man, that thing give me anxiety. It's like you look at that app and it's like, it's garbage. The DAZN app is garbage. Okay? Pure D monkey piss. Like, guys, I can get an ESPN Plus subscription. A lot cheaper, and I can get many, many more sports on ESPN Plus than I can DAZN. DAZN is a damn atrocity. Okay? So they went on that, and of course their numbers dwindled when they went to DAZN. Stupid. Okay, they went over to Showtime, which, okay, Showtime to me was a better move because a lot of people had Showtime. But, of course, people wasn't tuning in to Bellator events. They just weren't doing it. Okay, and when you look at Showtime, Showtime didn't do a lot of Bellator advertisement. Bellator sucked at promotion. They sucked at it. Like, guys, when did you ever see any Bellator promotions? Like, can you count on a hand how many Bellator promotions that you've actually seen that's promoting their big fights? Okay? So then you start thinking, why in the hell would PFL buy that damn atrocity? Why would they buy that sinking ass ship? Why would they do it? Okay? Well, number one, the PFL, they had a handful of stars. Okay? They had a handful of stars. Some people that, okay, they can make some big fights with. They definitely knew that they can make a couple of big fights with Cyborg. But, Cyborg's at the end of her career. She's at the very tail end of her career. But they figured, okay, all right, I'm going to squeeze a couple of fights out of Chris Cyborg. Okay? They were hoping, the PFL was hoping that Kayla Harrison would stick around. They was hoping to get a Cyborg versus Kayla Harrison. That's what the PFL they really wanted. But, Kayla Harrison, we know that story. She ducked the fade and got the hell up out of Dodge. Okay? That was Kayla Harrison. That's what she did. Then they had AJ McKee. They got AJ McKee. That's another, pretty much, a pretty good star in the Bellator ranks who, definitely put on nice, entertaining fights. And that's somebody you can put in any main event. Okay, they also had Michael Venom Page. He was getting a little older up there, but Michael Venom Page was still entertaining. So they had a handful of fighters that they could probably, use to muster up a couple of good fights. But the rest of the fighters on the Bellator roster, guys, they're just not that good. They're not must-see TV. It's not somebody that you would sit, and just want to watch. Not really. Oh, okay. And they got Dynamite Denise Kielholtz, who's, she's pregnant right now. And that's another starter they had that I feel like Denise Kielholtz could have came in there and just made a big impression. Like, Denise was good. Like, those are your few fighters in Bellator who were actually pretty decent, okay? You had, Veda Arteaga, she was okay. She was decent, but, it's not somebody you would just want to sit there and watch, okay? But you had your superstars like Denise. And I know Veda defeated Denise and gave her guillotine. But to me, Veda Arteaga to me wasn't that popular. Just not popular at all. In Bellator, you had Denise Kielholtz. As fine as she is, it's like they didn't know how to market the talent that they had. They just couldn't do it, man. And it just, when you see a Bellator event, you look at it, and it just looked like a big-ass just mess. It's just like a damn mess, like some shit they just threw together. Like Bellator to me, it just looks so unprofessional, man. Like everything, it just didn't seem like a big promotion to me. Okay? So the PFL bought that sinking ship. Hoping to make a Cyborg fight. Hoping to make some big fights with AJ McKee. Okay? Possibly a couple of fights with Denise Kielholtz. Okay? Possibly a couple of fights with Michael Venom Page. Okay? Like that's what they were doing, but see, it didn't pan out that way. So now the PFL, they got this big debt that they acquired. And so PGS Woman, you're wondering, well, a lot of the Bellator fighters, they're not fighting. No, and they're not going to fight. They're not going to fight. Pretty much the Bellator fighters are doing what they did in Bellator. They didn't fight. Okay, Scott Coker had these people so far on the damn shelf that these people, you couldn't just be a Bellator fighter, okay? These people was making next to nothing, and Scott Coker tried to lie about this shit. Tried to lie about it. You have fighters on the undercard making, what, $1,500? Scott tried to lie about that, but that was true. That's a fact. No. We're definitely going to get them paid, and, we're going to do this. No, you didn't. Okay? Scott tried to make it look good. Hell, they paid Chris Cyborg all that money. They paid Michael Venom Page all that money. They paid AJ McKee all that money. And you only had a few people in Bellator that even made six figures. You got to make it make sense. Okay? They bought that because they wanted to make a couple of big fights. And at the time, the PFL saw that a couple of big fights could be made in Bellator. But see, now, it looks bleak. It looks bleak. And those fighters, those Bellator fighters, the majority of them, those fighters are going to be released. Okay? They're going to be released out of their contract. Many of them, they're going to buy them out. And then that's it. They're going to be done with the Bellator altogether. They're going to be done. Okay? The PFL, they made a huge calculated mistake by acquiring Bellator. I don't even know who idea was it. Whose stupid ass idea was it to take Bellator? Like, what did you hope to gain? You'd have been better off just letting Bellator go under, and then, signing people like Venom Page and Denise and AJ McKee, just signing them to contracts. Like, they'd have been better off doing that instead of acquiring Bellator. Okay, does this put PFL in financial straits? Not right now. The PFL, PGS woman, they've got some people that's backing them, okay? And I'm not gonna say too much here online, but I can tell you this, okay? I know the PFL, me, Coach Shelton Harrison, I know that they have, let's just say, they've got certain sponsorships, okay? They've got certain people that support them, that they got a lot of money. And I'm gonna leave it, you take this, and you take that how you think I meant it, okay? But they've got people that can invest a lot of money in them. The PFL still giving out these damn $1 million paychecks. And you don't think they got money? The PFL got the money. And it's a growing commodity. But having a big debt like Bellator, yes, it could put a dent in things, but it's not going to do it right now. You see, they got Francis Ngannou, okay? They want to make some big fights with Ngannou. That's what they want, okay? They got to get their money. All that money they paid Ngannou to come over, they got to make their money back, okay? They got Ngannou. Now, the PFL, they're also having a problem, okay? The Bellator fighters are aging. They can't do anything out of this. Ngannou's aging. So, they're not going to get a lot of fights out of Ngannou and people like that. And even if John Jones came over, he's 37, they can't. Okay, but they do got some stars. They got they got Dakota Dick Shiva. They got her, okay? She's coming up and down. They got, Chris Cyborg gonna be gone, but they still got Larissa Pacheco. Okay, they still got some stars that can actually do some damage and make Bellator, make the PFL good. Okay, make the PFL very lucrative and very viable. Okay, but see, it sucks. It sucks for It sucks for the PFL because they can't get a lot out of Chris Cyborg. That's it. She's done soon. It's over. Okay, it's over for Chris. And Dakota Dick Shiva, she's only going to fight at 125 pounds. She's not going to move up and fight Chris Cyborg. That could be a super fight if Dakota Dick Shiva could make weight. Okay, they will book that fight in a minute, but it's not going to happen. Okay, see, guys, you got to look at all the scenarios of what's going on. The PFL, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They're not, okay? They're not going to go anywhere anytime soon, but you listen now. Listen to what I'm telling you. Those Bellator fighters, their contracts, they're going to be null and void. They're going to get them out of there. They're going to buy them out. They're going to get those fighters out of there. They're going to keep a few, okay? They're going to keep a few, and Bellator is going to completely go away, okay? Bellator is going to go away. It was just a bad business decision to acquire Bellator. It was bad. It was real bad. Now, it was good for Scott Coker because Scott Coker was able to sell and get rid of that garbage. He was able to get rid of that crap. But to be honest, okay, Scott Coker made a bag. What did the PFL get? What did they get from Bellator? What did they get? Okay, they got a lot of nothing, okay? And I'm sorry, Bellator, the product was not that good. Just wasn't, okay? The PFL, to me, has a much, much better product. And I tell you this right now, I'm more glued to the PFL than I am the UFC. I'm just going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all, okay? The PFL, the storylines in the PFL, to me, they're a little bit more intriguing, okay? They've got financial backing. They've got huge financial backing. And that's all I'm going to tell you, okay? They got deep pockets. They got people with deep pockets that they're supporting the PFL, okay? It's not going away for a while, okay? The PFL, they got to keep getting in these young stars like Dakota Dick Shiva. They got to keep getting the Chanel Dyers up in there. Okay, they got to get some of these young, hungry fighters. See, if the PFL begins to do what Bellator did, like acquire a bunch of old-ass fighters in their upper 30s, then they're going to suffer the same fate that Bellator did.